February 5th, 2020. And the first thing I want to get into is the State of the Union address last night, which I talked about on my show last night. And Trump delivered exactly what I was hoping. He spoke directly to the American people. He talked about the jobs numbers, the booming jobs economy we have. He talked about, he brought on those guests, the old war veteran, someone that got a scholarship for something. And as amazing as that speech was, that was not the biggest takeaway for me. The biggest takeaway for me was the way the Democrats behaved during that. It was absolutely disgraceful. Starting off with those women wearing all white, Nancy Pelosi included. Whatever that signifies, I don't even care. Something about women's rights or something like that, even though, they all make way more money than I do, and they don't even do any work. So that was pretty ridiculous, especially whenever he brought up the statistic that in 2019, 72% of the workforce, of people entering the workforce, were women. And they didn't even stand or applaud for that. So that just goes to show right there that they're liars. And the question I have for that is why? The question I have for all of this, Nancy, Schiff, Nadler, all of these Democrats that are, liars, and you can call them all sorts of other names. The question is why? Why are they doing this? Trump just wants to help the blue collar workers that have been struggling for the last 2 decades in this country. He wants to lower drug prices. He wants to get criminals off the streets. The things that he wants to do are things that every single American agree upon. And these people in the Democrats, for whatever reason, are doing everything they can to stop him. And again, the question is why? And I think we will find out very soon. Another thing to note, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was not at the State of the Union, as were all the other Supreme Court justices. So I found that kind of odd. She supposedly is cancer-free. I don't know. I just thought that was a little weird. Rush Limbaugh got the Medal of Freedom award. As you know, he was just diagnosed with stage 4, I believe, lung cancer. And so I ask all of you to pray for his recovery, because he is seriously an inspiration to millions of people. I mean, I heard a guy on Fox Business, I forget his name, he said that Rush Limbaugh is the Babe Ruth of talk radio. And he really is. He has been around for years, speaking for conservatives. He was the head guy that was going against the mainstream media that everybody was watching. He was the guy that was going against it. He was the guy that was speaking the truth. And he is a serious inspiration. So I ask all of you to please pray for his recovery. as I will do the same. Um, at the very end of the speech, Nancy stood up on live television in front of, you know, who knows how many millions of people, and held it up for everybody to see, the transcript of Donald Trump's speech, and she ripped it up for everyone to see, and just basically just threw it, which is just beyond disrespectful. Beyond disrespectful. I mean, that woman, and, you know, so many of them, Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, there's, you know, I mean, there's so many words you can call them. You can call them liars, you can call them the B word, the C word. I can't think of a word that is even insulting enough to describe what these people, you know, the B word and the C word, those are words you use to describe your ex-boyfriend or ex-husband or ex-girlfriend or whatever. Not people that are actively trying to destroy this country. And keep in mind, they are in the United States Congress. Their paycheck comes directly from the taxes that come out of your paycheck. And they don't do a goddamn thing to help the American people. They don't do anything. What are they up to? Again, the question is why? And again, eventually we will soon find out. I got to give a shout out to Dave at X22 Report for uncovering or digging into government documents and laws, and it is actually illegal for Nancy to shred the State of the Union speech. She could be fined and also imprisoned. Did she know that? Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Next on the agenda. The Senate voted to acquit the president. Obviously. We all knew how that was going to go. The vote was 42 to 48. Now there are... I'm sorry, 52 to 48. Now there are... there was one Republican, Mitt Romney, of all people, who voted on one of the two articles of impeachment. He voted on abuse of power. Whatever the hell that means. He was the only one. All the other Republicans voted to acquit him. And it's over. It's done. And Lindsey Graham was on Fox with Maria Bartiromo this last Sunday, and he said he basically promised that we will investigate what happened with FISA, the fraudulent FISA documents, what happened with this false investigation into Trump and other Republicans, and in the collusion with the media, the FBI leaking classified information to the media while this was going on, and the CIA as well. And Maria Bartiromo brought up a good point. She said, my viewers, they expect justice. Will you deliver them? Asking Lindsey Graham's this question. He said, yes, we will deliver justice. So now that this trial is over, I think we're going to slowly but surely, maybe not slowly, who knows, we're going to start to see this completely flip the other direction, and look into the people that really did break the law to incredible degrees. I mean, this was an attempted soft coup on a sitting president of the United States. That is some serious, serious stuff. That has never happened in the history of this country. Lastly, we had the Iowa caucus last night, which, if anyone was paying attention, which I doubt was very few people, it was really weird. The results did not come until today. Like, if you look, even after the polls close, I mean, every election, I'm fairly young. I've only been involved in, you know, two major elections, and but usually they start reporting votes at, what, 20%, 30% that have been counted, and it stood at 0 all night. Now, interestingly enough, the Republican Iowa caucus, 99% reported. Obviously, Donald Trump won 97.5% of the vote, obviously. And that information was put out right away. They were reporting 99% just a few hours after the caucus. But there was nothing on the Democrats' side, which I didn't see much of it in the media as to why that was happening. I heard a few things like they were having glitches and they were having all these problems, and it's weird. But Judicial Watch has issued FOIA documents, Freedom of Information Act, in multiple states involving voter fraud. And so far, every state they've looked into, there is massive, massive voter fraud. There are tons of registered voters that are deceased, that are, there's duplicates, people that can, technically vote twice. And there's been some statistics put out just how bad it is. I mean, there's counties in some of these states, Republican states including, where there are more registered voters than there are people. And I think that that FOIA document with Judicial Watch going after Iowa and multiple other states, because they went after Iowa, because that's the first state that votes. That might have something to do with it. I really don't know. But I'll tell you this: I don't believe in coincidences. But last I checked, here, you know what? I'm actually gonna look here really quick at the results. I checked a few hours ago, and they had 62%. 62% reporting for Democrats, and now it looks like they have 91% reporting. So we can go ahead and we can go ahead and call it good at that point. They have Pete Buttigieg just barely ahead. He picked up 11 delegates. Bernie Sanders coming in second with 11 delegates. Elizabeth Warren with 5 delegates. Joe Biden with 0 delegates. Number of votes. This is my favorite part. The number of votes Pete Buttigieg, number 1, got was 532. The number of votes Bernie Sanders got was 513. Elizabeth Warren got 366. Who else of significance here? It looks like they deleted a bunch of people, at least off of Google. Well, that is the Huffington Post, so you never know, right? Here we go. Okay. Andrew Yang, another very popular one, got 21 votes. 21 votes. Michael Bloomberg, 0 votes. Not one person voted for Michael Bloomberg. Now, I'm sure practically all of you have seen Michael Bloomberg's ads. He has put $250 million, I believe, into ads online in the last month, maybe 2 months, 2 months now. And he's put more money into ads than Hillary Clinton did in her entire campaign. And the first time people get to go out to vote, not a single person votes for Michael Bloomberg. Not one. Now, this is new to me, paying attention to stuff like this, but those are some very, very sad numbers. Those are very sad numbers. Huh. Should be interesting. I think New Hampshire is next. According to the polls, Joe Biden is ahead in New Hampshire, so we'll see who takes that one. And yeah, we're just gonna keep an eye on it. Okay, everybody. Again, please pray for Rush Limbaugh's recovery. He is a serious patriot and an inspiration to all of us. And that is all for today. Thanks for tuning in.